welcome to TMXing Adventures. My name is Lisa Keegan and we are cooking from Cookie Doo today as we fill our grazing box with amazing food to take on a picnic to a friend's house or just because. So I'm excited today to show you some hints and tips to make amazing crackers in your TM. Now this can be made on a TM31, TM5, TM6 thermo cooker. So come along as I show you how easy it is to make crackers and you don't have to buy them ever again. So let's do this. Let's get start cooking. First thing is preheat the oven. It's got quite a hot oven for this recipe. It doesn't take long to make, which is great because if you've got friends coming over, you can whip this up in no time. So then once we've done that, it wants fresh thyme. I don't have fresh thyme. So we're going to just go with some dried thyme. I'm going to put about a teaspoon in because I reckon dried thyme is a bit more potent because it's been dehydrated than fresh thyme. That'll do, right? But whatever flavor you want. 220 grams of plain flour. Now I am not using GF for this recipe today. I am not confident that it would work. So I'm actually using ordinary, actually baker's flour. So the stuff I'd use for my pizza doughs and things like that. So 220 grams. Oh, but I shortchanged myself a little bit. That's okay. 220 grams of flour. So it's not self-raising dough, okay? No self-raising. It is just plain or baker's. So they are the two you can use. Water, 120 grams of water. In this goes. This is a little cool jug from the mix shop. If you've got one, do comment. I'd love to know those of you who have one and love it. Okay, don't go heavy-handed. You can see I'm actually taking my time to do this. Not often do I kind of go a bit slow. Actually, I'm going to cut short because I cut a little bit less flour. You don't want too much liquid in your crackers because it'll just be really hard to work with. 20 grams of olive oil. In this goes. Nearly there. And go easy because you don't want it to be tacky and sticky and horrible to work with. And now a tablespoon of garlic powder. Now, I don't know about you, but garlic powder I find at my house always goes solid. Like I don't know if you can see now, but it's pretty hard in here. Now the trick to garlic not going hard, especially where we live where it's really humid, is to actually keep it in the fridge. I learned yesterday. However, I don't, it just goes in my cupboard, but I do buy the flakes because I find the flakes you can just break them up easily enough with a fork and use them. If you buy the powder, it just goes to a brick and then it's really hard to use. So there's the garlic. Now it says 1 teaspoon of sugar. I reckon that could be optional. I'm just going to take that down a little bit. I won't put in a full teaspoon. I'll probably put in a quarter. You probably leave it out really. But next, 1 teaspoon of salt. That is important. Do I have my salt? I do. And the thing is, you'll find as well, if you skip the salt, you'll notice it. You'll be going, oh, this doesn't taste right. There's something not good about this recipe. And it's the salt. It's amazing what salt does to our taste buds. So yeah, don't skip out on that. And some pepper. It's got a decent amount of pepper in, although my family don't do too much, so I won't put the full teaspoon, which is a lot of pepper. So now we're going to go next. And we're going to put our lid on. Where did I put my lid down before too? Have I not used my lid yet? Maybe I need to find myself a lid. I will return in a moment when I've found a lid. See you in a second, guys. Okay, I'm back. I have a lid in my house. I'm not the only one who cooks. The beauty of having Thermomix is that all of my kids and my husband can confidently cook easily and simply and safely. So it means that I can be set up for a video and get halfway through and my lid's not here because somebody else has taken it and used it out in the kitchen. So let's keep going. We're going to put the lid on and we're going to blitz this down for 10 seconds on speed 4. So up we go to speed 4, off it goes. And this is just going to mix this batter together. Not going to take long at all. All right, next up. Now it says to tip the dough out and shape into a ball, cover and leave to rest for 10 minutes. Now, because this is glutinous, gluten likes to relax. If the gluten actually doesn't have time to relax, any rolling out you do, pressing out, it will continue to contract back in. So it's actually quite an important step. You'll see in here, this resembles cauliflower. It actually reminds me of when I make beautiful wraps for the kids. That's the same texture. So anyone as you're watching along, have you made the wraps? Would you like me to do the video one day of making wraps for you? Let me know. I'm just cutting off a super big bit of baking paper. Now I'm going to show you some tips and tricks today for, it's got to rest for 10 minutes. So when we return to actually getting some nice square edges on your crackers. So I'll be back in 10 minutes time after I wrap this up and I'll show you that step. One more thing I want to point out is as you're getting your dough out, just turn that little dial on the bottom and it actually drops your dough out. Okay, it spins it around and you'll see it drops out and you lose most of your dough out of there, which is pretty cool. So push this into a ball, cover and leave for 10 minutes. So into the ball it goes. It smells amazing at the moment. So we will return in 10 minutes. I'm just going to, so the reason we're covering it is they don't want it to dry out. You could do this on your Thermomat, by the way, but I'm just going to use this baking paper later in my oven and I'm going to show you how to shape it with it. So that's why we're using that. If you've got yourself a Thermomat, you'll definitely could use your Thermomat, and let me know if you want to get one. We can have an online demo and I can get you, you can get you a Thermomat as well as one of those host rewards. But let's see you in 10 minutes time and I'll show you how to roll this out, get some nice square edges and finish this recipe. So I'll see you soon, guys. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Actually, it's probably been more like 12 to 15 and it's rested. So when it's rested and we know it's rested, it won't kind of retract back in as I roll it out. So let's go on to the next button and it says to halve the dough and place on a sheet of baking paper. So let's cut this in half. We'll just put the other bit aside. And then it says to roll out into a large rectangle. So we need your rolling pin, just got a silicone roller. Give it a press to start off with so it goes all flat and we roll it out. Now, as I said, you could be doing this on your Thermomat. Why I'm going to show you this way in a second, you'll see. So I am going to use my Thermomat or an oven silicone mat from the mix shop on my tray shortly though. We want to roll this out to about 3 millimeters thick. So roll it around, push it out. Now, if you haven't let it sit long enough, it'll retract back. You won't be able to get it rolled out nicely. The gluten will keep fighting you and pull back in. You can see some of mine's doing it, but it's okay. Mostly on the whole, it's stretching out big, which is what you want. Now, you can see that some of my edges, well, all of my edges are not straight. And today I want to show you a really cool trick for getting straight edges on your crackers, no matter what type of crackers you're making. If they require rolling out, this tip is for you. So all we do is we take the side and we fold it over and we give it a crease line. Then we use our rolling pin to actually spread that lump of dough down the sheet. Now you can pull it in tighter if you want so that you end up with it completely straight. I've got a little indent on mine there, but otherwise, I might just bring this camera around and show you a bit closer. But otherwise, you get a really square edge, straight edge on it, which is pretty cool. You can see there, look at that. As I said, one little dink in the middle, but that's all right. Then we turn the bottom edge over here. I'm not turning it over much. I'm actually only turning it over the tiniest bit. If you do too much, then you end up with too much overhang on your corners. And then just push it sideways like that. And you can see we now have a perfectly straight edge. An absolute gold tip, okay? So tag your friends, tell them that there's a great way to end up with straight edges on your crackers. So I'm going to fold a little bit extra here because I've got a big gap at the end. So I am putting a little bit extra, and this end's a bit low too, so I can push a little bit down one end, push the other up the other end. You'd really struggle to do this, by the way, if it hasn't relaxed. It would not be cooperating with you at all. And then the last bit is this last end. It's a bit wobbly, so we'll just fold it over and then spread that out. So the ends is normally the corner, is normally the part that you end up with a bit of a whoppy bit. See how my end is a little bit whoopy? But otherwise you end up with really quite square edges. All right. Don't want to roll it too much now. It'll probably lose its squareness otherwise. So now what we do, let's see what it says. Using a sharp knife, score into rectangle crackers, transfer to a baking paper with the crackers on the baking tray. Sprinkle with salt. Okay, so I've got from the mix shop, and I don't know if it's still available, but a cracker roller. It actually makes little triangles, which is pretty cool. So rather than using a pizza knife to score it, like I would use a pizza roller, we can use one of these. And we just follow our straight line down, and it gives us our score lines. There we go, look at that. And then we do it again, follow this line down. Such a handy little tool. And I can just do the last little bit across the bottom. Now I do have a second amount of dough to do this with, so I will do that off camera. You don't need to see me do it a second time. But there you go, there's your roll of crackers, and then it says to put it on a tray. Now what I'm going to do is I've got my rose gold tray, and I'll just pull it back so you can see it. This is from the mix shop. If you don't have good quality bakeware, I would highly suggest it. I'm actually going to, originally I was going to flip this upside down, but I'm a bit worried if I flip it, it's not going to work for me. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually just going to put my baking paper straight on, like so, all right? What I'm going to do though is halfway through the cook time, it actually asks us to flip them over and cook them. So it says to poke them with a fork, put some salt on them. Let's do that. Don't forget this salt, okay? It's important again. You'll regret it if you do, guarantee it. You'll be, why these don't taste right? Next. Okay, so you're going to bake 5 to 6 minutes until they're beginning to brown, and it's at 230. It's a hot oven. Then you're going to use a spatula to flip it. So my suggestion on that is actually to have a second tray the same. Okay, here is my tips and takeaways. Do straight edges, number 1. Number 2, have a second tray available, because what you can then do is you can use your second tray and you can literally do a flip. Put your other tray on top, flip the whole lot up with oven mitts on, because the bottom one will be hot, and then you've got them upside down up for the other 4 to 5 minutes as well. Then from there, you're taking them out, you're letting them cool, and you're pretty much done. How cool is that? So that is how easy it is to make your own crackers in your Thermomix. You know exactly the ingredients that are in it. You know that the numbers, there's no numbers, there's no colors, there's no MSG. It's exactly what you put into your machine. And really, it took no more than about 30 seconds to whip this up. Bit of resting time, but hey, there's always things to be done around a house or ingredients to put back away. And then 10 to 15 minutes in an oven. So really simple and quick, and I'd love to see you give a go to this. And when you do, send me your pictures, let me know what you think. Let me know whether your friends and family like this recipe, or more importantly, do you like it? Be proud of your achievements when you make amazing things like this so easily and simply in the Thermomix, because you've done it, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go now. I'm going to put mine in the oven. I'm going to get this recipe done. I will share photos with you at the end of this video, so keep an eye out. Do like and subscribe and share this channel with your friends and families who have Thermomixes, or maybe they need the ease a Thermomix brings, because without knowing, they don't know how easy things could be to be able to make amazing things like crackers in the Thermomix. You could buy them, or you can make them really quickly and easily from pantry ingredients. So I hope you've taken some tips away. Remember the gold about folding your edges. Tag the friends who need to know that tip as well, who love their Thermomix but need to take it to the next level. So otherwise, I'll see you in the next video soon. So take care. And my name is Lisa Keegan from Team Mixing Adventures. See you again soon. Bye for now.